Hi, I'm Val Hart in San Antonio, Texas, founder of Val Hart & Friends at valhart.com. Welcome to the Real Dr. Doolittle Show, the show for animals and the people who love them. I've been called a real-life Dr. Doolittle many times in my career as an expert animal communicator, behaviorist, pet psychic, and master healer. My mission and passion is to improve the lives of animals the world over by helping humans learn how to speak their language, how to understand their viewpoints, and heal. After all, our love of animals helps us be better humans, and the more balanced and healthy we are, the more balanced and healthy they can be too. Be sure and look for my CDs on iTunes. And to find out more about my work and to receive your free Quick Start Animal Talk course, just go to my website at valhart.com. While you're there for a limited time, you can also apply for a complimentary Happy Animal Assessment session. And if you want to learn how to be your own Dr. Doolittle, check out the world's first complete Animal Communication Made Easy system available now on my website at valhart.com. Thank you and enjoy the show. Hi, this is Val Hart, the Real Dr. Doolittle, and today I'm talking with Kathleen Prasad, Animal Reiki teacher. She's the founder of Animal Reiki Source, and she's the president of the Shelter Animal Reiki Association that we call Sarah. You are the co-author of Animal Reiki, Using Energy to Heal the Animals in Your Life, and also the Animal Reiki Handbook, and you're the editor of Tales from the Source and Animal Reiki Tales, and by the way, that's Tails. I love that, and those are collections of Animal Reiki stories from around the world. This is just so cool. I'm so glad to be talking to you today. You've got so much other stuff. I mean, we could be talking our whole interview just me telling people what all you're doing. You're a world leader in the subject of Reiki for animals, and you've written the Practitioner Code of Ethics for the Reiki profession, which is so important. You've got articles on the subject. You teach vets and vet techs at the American Conference of the Holistic Veterinary Medical Association, and you said in 2008 and 2010. That sounds fascinating. And, God, am I glad the vets are opening up to Reiki. Let's see, you're also teaching Reiki to other animal organizations, and especially are very out there with shelter animals, bringing Reiki to shelter animals. So I'm just so excited to talk to you. And I want to know, Kathleen, how did you get started with Reiki?
It was kind of an accident, which, of course, all the best things in life are, right? And I was never really into anything holistic. My mother-in-law tried a Reiki treatment she had had a surgery that was not healing well, and they were saying they were going to have to go back in and do another surgery, exploratory, to figure out what was wrong. And someone who worked at her lab said, "Oh, would you like a Reiki treatment to try?" And she thought, well, I don't know what it is, but I'm desperate. So she got a treatment. She was healed. The doctors couldn't explain it. And she said, "Kathleen, you have to get a treatment. It's incredible."
Wow.
And I'm like, well, it sounds kind of weird, but I'll humor her. She is my mother-in-law, so, got to humor them. I went and I got a treatment, and it was so... within 5 minutes, I was so relaxed, I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And then I remember she did, at the end of the treatment, she put her hands, on a position in the bottom of the soles of my feet, and I felt this wave of energy just flow all the way up my body to my head, and my head actually jerked when the energy got. And I said, what is this? I have to learn more about this. I was blown away by the power of the energy. And so that was really what got me interested. And really I got into it for self-healing. And I had no thoughts about that it was an animal healing modality, because that wasn't discussed or gone over in any of my classes. And the person that I had a treatment from had, only done people. So I just didn't even have it in my mind. But I was very determined to do self-healing. So I went home my first day, after my class, my level 1 class, and I started doing self-treatment. And so I was sitting on the couch, and I was doing the hand positions on myself. And all of a sudden, my dog came over, and he laid across my feet, on top of my feet in this really awkward position, and relaxed. put his head down, and I was like, what are you doing? Because he always laid about 3 to 5 feet away from me, but next to me, but never on top of my feet, ever.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I said, that's very strange. And so, I was like, whatever, and I kept doing the treatment, then went on with my day, and then the next day I sat down to do my treatment again, and my dog again got up, came over, sat on top of my feet. And finally, after a few days of this, I thought, the light bulb went on, and I said, oh, I think he wants Reiki, or I think he's actually taking it.
Yes.
And so I kneeled down on the floor, and I put my hands on him, and he rolled over on his side, and he just lay down, and he went to sleep. Yeah, he's like, no time, Mom, come on. And so that was kind of the beginning, and it dawned on me that not only did he accept the Reiki and it relaxed him just the way it relaxed me. I could just tell that he was feeling really good and peaceful and all those harmonious feelings that Reiki brings. I could tell he was feeling that. But the other thing that really intrigued me was that he came over. He knew. He sensed it. I didn't ask him or try to give it to him.
Right.
I was just minding my own business. And he sensed it and came over. So he sensed it on his own, and he understood that it would help him. And he came over and took some without me doing anything.
Right.
And so that really intrigued me, was the fact that he was my first animal teacher in this, but all the animals subsequently that I began to work with, which was a horse that I was sponsoring at the time and I would see every Saturday, and I began to work with him and his arthritis and had some amazing responses. And then people at that barn started to ask me, what are you doing? Can you do my dog, or can you do my horse? And then I was also volunteering 2 days a week at a shelter, and so I was like, I wonder if they'll let me do Reiki there. I was walking the dogs, and so they said, oh, absolutely, walk them and then do Reiki. And it was like this reproducible thing where the animals totally get it. They totally understood. They came over and showed me what they needed, and it was fine. Like, I was learning. I was brand new. I didn't know what I was doing, but my heart was open because I loved animals. And so it was like this beautiful, surprising, just innocent discovery that the animals pulled me along, and they brought me step 1, step 2, step 3. So it was really a beautiful, surprising turn of events in my life.
Wow. Oh, I love that. Well, and I've always felt this, and it sounds like you think this is true too, that animals actually know more than we do about energy. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
Well, I actually, over the years, my understanding in this whole thing has changed, and it's changing all the time. The more that I sit with the animals, but in the beginning, I realized, the animals sense the energy and they want the healing. And so I spent more time with them, and then I began to realize, actually, the animals really get it. They understand what's going on with healing, with the spiritual aspect, with, the give and take that's going on, way more than me. So the more that I opened up to that possibility, the more that I received from the animals. So it was like when I was humble to their wisdom, my heart was then open to receive what lessons and healing they had for me. And so what I find now is that, even if it's my intention, I'm going into a shelter, I'm working with a pit bull that has, severe abuse trauma, and so my intention is that I'm going to offer this healing space for this dog for whatever he needs. But what I have found is that actually I receive healing and I receive these spiritual gifts from the animal, which they're unexpected and they're not asked for, but it sort of occurs as a part of being in this Reiki space. So what I have really come to realize is that there is really no giving and no receiving. There's just a beautiful space of connection and oneness. And I believe when we connect to animals that we are brought deeper into the energy. So it's like sitting with a living Buddha. When you hear people, I went to see the Dalai Lama and I was changed because I was in his presence or whatever. And so I believe that when we are open, we are changed just by virtue of connecting with an animal's energy. And it's amazing. And I always tell people, yeah, you can do Reiki all you want, but if you do it with the animals, you'll go deeper, quicker, and you'll understand more, because the animals will give you that extra little oomph, because, we're so clueless as humans in this whole thing.
Boy, we
have to try really hard. I have to try to meditate. I have to try to quiet my mind. Oh, it's such a practice. Oh, I get so bored, and I have to try to quiet. I'm thinking about the laundry list or and I'm trying. We go stand in the pasture with our horse, and it's like quiet, and they're in the moment. They're fully present, and it's like, boom. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about everything. I was just standing out there with my horse. So it's really great how much they can assist us in our own, inner deepening and learning and, discovering all this energy stuff.
Wow. Man, I love that. Sitting with the living Buddha. It is so brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's brilliant because that's exactly what our animals do. They bring us back to present moment, which is in connection, like you said, and they share energy. And, when I'm teaching my students animal communication, that's where it happens. We want to be so mental, about everything and try to figure it out and do it right or whatever, and all we have to do is connect. Literally simply connect. And like you said, sitting with the living Buddha, and it happens. So, I love this. Oh, gosh. Well, let's tell people a little bit more about Reiki. I know that some people, that's a whole new term to them. It's spelled R-E-I-K-I. Can you give a quick overview or an introduction to what it's all about?
Well, the word Reiki is actually two Japanese kanji, Rei and Ki. Rei meaning spirit, Ki meaning energy. Okay. So we put it together, spiritual energy. So when we talk about the word Reiki, we're talking about the energy that makes up everything in the universe, you, me, the animals, trees, and even non-living things, everything, buildings and, the earth and the sky, and, everything is made of energy. Mm-hmm. So, and quantum physicists, of course, are understanding this more and more all the time.
Yeah.
So that's when we say Reiki, that's what we're talking about. Okay. When we talk about the system of Reiki, this is the practice. This is the techniques and meditations and the actual practice that we do on a daily basis as to go deeper into the energy, to explore this universal energy. And it was created by a man named Miko Usui, who lived in Japan, and he created Reiki in the early 1900s from the knowledge he had in many these ancient traditions of Japan, that he was a master in many of them. And so he took elements of these different traditions, Buddhism and Shinto and Shugendo, and, all these, he was also a martial artist. And so he took these pieces and bits and pieces and created this system that was actually made it easy for anyone really to access. If you are dedicated to the practice, it's easy to access the energy and to go deeper into the energy. So when we talk about the system of Reiki, or if I teach a Reiki technique, then we're talking about, this Japanese system created by Usui.
Okay.
And so it involves things like the 5 precepts, which are precepts for living your life, and certain meditations and breathing techniques that you learn. And they have something called an initiation, which is like an energetic ritual that you receive from your teacher. And then you learn hands-on healing treatments, like I described in my story, where I was giving myself hands-on healing when my dog came over to me. And then when you, in the more advanced training, you learn symbols and mantras, which again help us to connect more deeply with the energy. So there's all these little, techniques and things to do as human beings that help us to connect more easily.
Mm-hmm. So the things to do to be, the things we have to be doing in order to discover our being.
That's right. So Reiki, the system of Reiki is not about an external thing, magical trick or something that we're trying to call upon. Oh, I call upon, this or that. Well, it's what it is it's a series of beliefs in your life and techniques to bring you back to yourself. So in other words, it's remembering I am this energy. I am Reiki. And so I don't need something external. It's all within me, but I've just forgotten. So when I learn to quiet my mind and to go, deeply within myself and to make that intention to heal myself, peel back those layers, I remember my inner truth. And when we do that, it's like a rebalancing for our whole, body, mind, spirit, everything. It just, the nature of this universal energy all around us is balance. And so we sort of find our balance again as we work with the Reiki, which is really beautiful. And that's why the healing happens. The healing is kind of a byproduct of this whole, rediscovery of ourselves. So it's really beautiful.
Well, being not in good health is a symptom of being out of balance in areas, areas of our life.
That's right.
So when we find our balance again, find our center, remember our truth, then the rest will align into a more proper balanced state, which looks like healing, Looks like better
exactly.
health. Right. More energy flow. So, Kathleen, how does Reiki actually help animals, do you think?
Well, Reiki, to me, there's absolutely nothing that could not be helped with Reiki.
Okay.
So, let's say I'm working with a shelter, and all of you have probably been in a shelter, and it's very loud, and there's lots of barking. So if you can imagine walking into an aisle of, let's say, 10 dogs on one side, 10 dogs on the other, all the kennels lined up, and the dogs are some are crying, some are pacing, some are jumping, some are barking nonstop, and it's just chaos.
Yeah. And
I can kneel down in the aisle at the end, and I can put in my earplugs.
That's smart.
And then I can close my eyes and set my intention that I'm open to receive this energy, this healing, to assist these dogs for whatever they need. And within 10 minutes, you can hear a pin drop.
Wow.
And all the animals are quiet. And it doesn't mean they're all asleep. Some of them will actually go right to sleep. Some will lay down. Some will just be standing, staring at me, utterly silent, like what is going on, rapt attention.
Wow.
But very, the biggest thing that you see is very pronounced relaxation and stress relief. So I've worked with pit bulls that are shaking uncontrollably. They've been used as bait dogs, and so they have all the scars and all their ears are gone, and it's just they're just poor little things. And you work and sit with them, and they're just shaking violently. Mm-hmm. And I had one, and he crawled into my lap, and his shaking stopped.
Wow.
And he didn't shake again after that. I mean, he wasn't like, everything's great. He was still a little shy and a little, nervous and everything. But, I mean, he released that physical shaking that had overtaken his body. Yeah. I've worked with cats that have had severe rhinitis or respiratory problems, and they will get better with a series of treatments. And it may be something that's drug resistant, that the vets have tried all the drugs and they're just not getting better. And with Reiki, they get better and they heal. I've worked with horses that crib. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's where it's a neurotic habit where they'll actually grab with their teeth onto the bar of their stall, and they'll pull back and they'll do this sucking, and it's really bad for their neck and their back, and their teeth break and everything. It's a really loud, terrible sound when they're sucking on this, and it will greatly decrease and diminish the cribbing with Reiki. Wow. And also I've worked with animals who have been transitioning, passing. Oh. So I've sat with there was one kitty cat at Brighthaven where I teach my Reiki classes, and she was dying, and she was very weak, and she was kind of uncomfortable, and I sat with her, and her eyes changed and just relaxed, and she took a sigh, and she just so I could see that her discomfort was relieved in the space of the Reiki treatment. And then she passed later on, but to be able to help the quality of life while she was still here was
right, and to ease
really,
the passage from one of stress to a natural letting go and just a natural transition.
Absolutely.
It's quite a gift. Yeah, it's quite a
so,
gift.
So, anything physical, it's great for post-surgery, animals that have, just had a surgery. It can really help improve their recovery time, and they have less pain and need less medication, so they have fewer side effects and all that kind of stuff. And, mental, emotional stuff, it can really help because, again, it's bringing back into balance, whatever is off.
Right.
When you bring Reiki into the situation, it sort of rebalances things, so you tend to see something good kind of happen. And I always tell people when I do Reiki, I'll say, now look for shifts. And it might not be where you think, but it might be somewhere else. Like, I might be working on a dog that has skin problems.
Right.
And so I do Reiki, and obviously the person wants me to help their skin. But then, let's say the dog, I find out later, they say, oh, well, the skin, I haven't seen much, the next day, but last night, he slept all night. Usually he's up pacing in the night, very uncomfortable. He slept the whole night. And then sure enough, once the sleeping and that nervousness has healed, then the skin clears up on its own because often something external results from something internal. So the great thing about Reiki is we don't need to know what's wrong because, again, it's a holistic rebalancing that's occurring beyond our conscious understanding. So I don't send Reiki here or there. I don't actually do anything. I like to think of it more as being Reiki. I'm going to be Reiki, and I'm going to invite the animal to step into the space or out of the space here of energy of healing if they wish. So I invite them in for that connection and partnership. And whatever they receive is whatever they need, and it has nothing to do with me.
I like that. Yeah, because healing isn't about the healer. It's about the being that is choosing a different state of energy and balance.
That's right.
They do it
completely
themselves.
Up to the animal. So you can't force Reiki. You can't do too much. You can't do any harm with Reiki. You can't and you can't control what it does. But I was going to, heal your ankle, and instead, this other thing happened. So your appetite improved or whatever, because it's really not up to me.
Right, and I'm so glad you brought that out because it's not up to us. It's the energy goes where it will, and it does what it's needed, right? It goes where it's invited and does what it's designed to do, and we do not know what that could be. It's not up to us in our finite mind, so or conscious mind.
So it's a real relief because we can let go and say, oh, I don't have to know, so I can just relax. But then also, you can't take credit either. So afterwards, when the person says, you healed my dog, you could say, well, no, actually, Reiki and your dog did the healing, and I'm really glad that I could support that process.
Right,
that's
exactly.
All he's doing,
it's like we may be a facilitator, but we didn't actually do the work, right?
That's right.
We're like sort of the supervisor that just makes the connection and then, blesses it and it does its thing.
That's right. Absolutely.
Well, I have a question for you. How do animal treatments differ from human treatments? What is there a difference?
There is.
Oh, okay. What is that?
I always tell people, get out of your human experience because you're going to work with animals now. So you need to think about how they experience energy. Okay. And so when I'm a human, if I want to go get a Reiki treatment, I want to lay down on a massage table. I want to have some relaxing music playing, and then there'll be some hand positions, and it's great. I lay there for an hour. I get really relaxed. They start at the head and do different hand positions, whatever, maybe end on my feet, whatever. It's great. Well, I'm not going to lay my horse on the massage table for 60 minutes. Or if I have a bounding little puppy that's running around and rolling in the grass, I'm not going to say, come get on your leash and lay down and we're doing hand positions. Don't move for 60 minutes.
Don't move. Be still. Yeah, stop moving. You're fidgeting.
And besides that, animals, as we said, are more connected already. So I might need you to put your hands on my shoulders or on my if I have a headache, I might need the hands on my head to feel better because I'm tactile, and that touch, that's what we do as humans to communicate with each other. But animals, their primary contact is not tactile. by the time that an animal comes up and makes physical contact with you, they've already totally got you figured out. They already know exactly everything about you and what's going on. Now they're ready to come make the physical contact.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, because they're reading our energy.
With the animals, yes. So with the animals, what I do is I say, I'm not going to do this treatment hands-on unless the animal comes up and presents themselves and wants hands-on. So I'll sit on, if I'm doing a dog or a cat, I'll sit on the floor and I'll rest my hands on my lap, palms up, and I'll just sort of invite the animals and create the space and then let the animals do what they want. Now, very often, they'll come to your hands and sniff them, lick them, rub their body against them, then walk away, then come back, then maybe lay down 5 feet away and go to sleep, then wake up and come and maybe crawl into your lap for a little bit. But there is movement and kind of an ebb and flow going on. And so the challenge for animal Reiki is to let go of what you thought in your mind. But a Reiki treatment is laying on a table and getting hand positions for an hour. For animals, it's not that. It's the animals moving around in the space, free to come closer, further away. So if you think of it as, as they come closer, it may feel more intense. Some animals may want to be 20 feet away, and it's very gentle, and they feel much more comfortable in that physical distance. So we have to respect that and allow them to decide and to choose. And so I guess that's the biggest thing, is just letting the animals do what they want with the energy in the way that they're comfortable, instead of saying, okay, I have a standard way I do it, and this is how it looks.
Yeah. It's like we're in an energy dance. Right.
Yes, it is.
And we're still connected in partnership, even if the couple is way across the ballroom floor, from each other. They're still in harmony. They're still dancing, ebbing and flowing. Yeah.
That's right. And it's so hard in the beginning to really feel that and know that, because we're just learning, we're just figuring it out. So it's a lot about trust. And then the more that you trust, the animals will show you. So even if they're 20 feet away, you can see, they're yawning 7 times in a row. That's unusual. So you'll see those signs of relaxation, and you'll say, even though I am kind of clueless here, something's happening. Look at that. So it really helps to sort of watch and see, and they'll show you.
Right. Wow. I have a question for you. Can anybody do this, do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, we all are already doing it, but we just don't realize it. And when I say that, is every animal person who loves animals, you are already connecting at your heart with the animals you love, and you are communicating with them and communing with them, and you are giving them love, and you are receiving love, and that's healing to your life. So you have already, anyone who has ever loved an animal, you have already experienced the healing power of energy already.
Wow.
So then the question is, do you want to dive deeper? Or I always sometimes say, do you want to jump down the Reiki rabbit hole? Because you can go deeper. You can learn more about yourself, your true energetic essence. You can connect more easily and deeply with other species and understand things about their essence and their spiritual being that you never knew before. So if you want to do that, then yes, then Reiki's for you. Because Reiki is a practice. I mean, you take a class, but then you can go home and never do it, and nothing much will come of it. But if you take a class and you go home and you practice every day, you're going to start to see, wow, something's happening. I'm feeling things. I'm connecting. I'm sitting with my animals every day, and I'm having these healings in myself, and I'm watching my animals get better, and it's just really a beautiful journey. That it all really starts with our intention, and if our intention really is strong to do this, then I believe the animals will take us, all the way on this journey. Take us all the way to the great bright light.
Yeah, absolutely. Of which I think they're in some ways more familiar than we, that they see more clearly than we so much of the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything you could share with us that maybe we could try for ourselves?
Why don't we do a little heart breathing meditation that is really great to do. the best thing to do when you work with your animals is to think of yourself as kind of doing your own meditation and then inviting the animals into that and just sort of sitting in that energy with your animals. So how about if I guide you kind of through what that would look like?
Oh, that would be really cool. I'd love that.
Okay. All right. So start by finding a comfortable place to sit and to meditate. So whether you're sitting in a chair or sitting on the floor, whatever's comfortable, you want to make sure your spine is nice and straight so the energy can flow through you, and relax your shoulders and relax your arms.
Okay.
And close your eyes and take a nice, deep, cleansing breath and let it out slowly. And now we're going to do a special kind of breathing called a hara breath. Your hara is your energy center a few finger widths below your belly button, right about where your sacral chakra is, for those of you familiar with the chakra system.
Okay.
So you're going to kind of focus on the hara there. So breathe in through your nose, filling your whole body with this beautiful healing light all the way to the hara. And then on the out breath, you're going to expand that breath out your skin, into your aura, into the room, and into the universe. So again, breathing in through your nose and filling your body all the way to the hara, and then breathing out, expanding that light out into the universe. And breathing in, filling your body all the way to the hara, and breathing out, expanding. So take just a moment and breathe at your own pace, that in and out breath.
I can feel a tingling in my body.
That's the energy flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you've created that energy, then you can return your breathing back to normal and just feel yourself sitting in that beautiful space you've created. And then set your intention that you're open to invite your animals into that space for whatever they might need and whatever they're open to. So if you're sitting with your cat or your dog or you're out in the pasture with your horse, take a few moments, maybe 5 minutes, to breathe the hara breath, then invite your animal into the space, and then just sit quietly in the space with your animal.
Okay.
And you can start with maybe 5 minutes a day, and you can build up to a 30-minute meditation every day.
Okay.
And then to finish, you would say, I'm setting my intention to finish, and thank your animal for their openness and their participation. And then bring all your energy back to your body, so feeling that space you created coming back to your body, all your energy returning to your physical self, and feel your breathing coming back to normal and your awareness slowly coming back. And then you come back and open your eyes.
Okay.
So that can be as short as, a 3 to 5 minute little intention, mini meditation. And if you have more time, then you can, spend a longer time. Now, when you start doing the hara breathing, you can sometimes feel lightheaded or a little bit dizzy because you're not used to it, because it generates a lot of energy in a very short time. So maybe you'll only do 5 or 10 breaths and then sit in the space. But you will be able to do more and more and sit longer and longer the more that you practice with it.
Okay.
And what this meditation does, it focuses on our hara, which is our connection to Earth. And so when we do energy work, it's really important that we have a very strong grounding and our roots go deep into the earth. Because otherwise, when we're doing all this spiritual stuff, we can, fly away into la la land, but also we can get overtaken by the emotions and or, sadness or grief or fear, whatever issues that the animals may be dealing with that we are connecting to, it can be very unbalancing for us if we aren't grounded first. Yeah. And so this is the first technique I teach in my level 1 classes, because you're modeling how a Reiki treatment is done, which is it's an invitation. It's not a forced thing that you're trying to do to the animal. It's an invitation. Okay. And also you're learning to ground, and that's the first thing we should always work with, is that grounding, that earth energy in ourselves. Because if we can stay balanced, then we can help animals in any situation. We can go into, the worst, shelter abuse situation. We may find ourselves in, maybe somebody asks us to come be with their animal while they're dying, and everybody there is freaking out. We can go into any situation, and we can hold that peace for everybody because we've done our grounding work. So it's very important to help us to help others when we do that.
Yeah, and I think when we do that, we're not just helping others, but we're also helping ourselves. And there's the thing about if we're not in a good space, then the energy we're putting out isn't in a good space either. So I know a lot of animals. Yeah, animals are people. It's like they'll block it. They don't want that. Why would they want? Why would they want your unstable, chaotic,
absolutely
staticky energy?
Totally.
Right. So we, it's treat yourself, and then offer what you have for others to accept and use with the blessing, freely given.
Yeah.
So, I love that. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Kathleen. That's wonderful.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you touched on the importance of grounding. I find that so many of us, we don't have a clue how to be grounded, and that's one of the things our animals are very reactive to, because they don't like other beings who are so ungrounded. There's a disconnect and a weakness and a vulnerability that can be dangerous. If we're not properly grounded. So, and yourself, if an animal's not grounded, the kinds of problems that can come from that. Somehow they've lost their grounding. Then
absolutely,
yeah, it's important. So, I want to know more about Sarah. We were talking about that. We touched on that earlier. Tell me a little bit more about the Shelter Animal Reiki Association that you're calling Sarah. What does that do? What's Sarah?
This is a nonprofit that I formed in 2008 with Leah D'Ambrosio, who's I'm president of the organization. She's vice president, and we created this to bring Reiki to shelters, sanctuaries, rescues around the world.
Oh, I love that.
And so what we're doing is we are creating a whole curriculum and a step-by-step program for people to bring to their shelters or their sanctuaries or their rescues to train the staff and the volunteers in Reiki and support them in offering Reiki to the animals, and also a whole treatment protocol for the animals for Reiki. And so seeing that, this beautiful, balanced peace and harmony that Reiki brings is so beneficial to the animals. In the end, our goal really is to increase adoption rates because when animals become more relaxed and, less stressed in that environment, they're able to show who they are and, attract, hopefully, potential adopters more easily. Also, though, the caregivers have such a high rate of compassion fatigue and burnout from the work is so difficult. So we also offer Reiki to the staff and volunteers to support what they're doing so they then have more to give to the animals because they're not in such of a stressed place. And so it's just we have 23 member shelters and sanctuaries, mostly in the United States and also in England, that are members of SARA, and they all have our members who are trained. We have ongoing professional development and training for all of our teachers and practitioners, which is great. And we're also we're designing right now a research study to take a look at the effects of Reiki on kennel stress in dogs and shelters.
Okay.
To actually measure that. Because one of the problems with animal Reiki is we don't have a lot of research about it. And so Sarah is working on doing that. And the other component of what Sarah does is reaching out to veterinarians and educating vets, especially holistic vets, about what Reiki is and how it can be implemented into their practices and into their work, how it can support what they're already doing for the animals.
Oh.
And so, for example, this October, I'm going to be in Kentucky for the annual conference of the Holistic Veterinary Medical Association, and I'm going to be teaching a 3-hour class on animal Reiki to vets and vet techs.
Wow.
And so Sarah is going to have a booth there at their exhibit hall, and we're going to be giving free chair treatments so people can come and sit in a chair and get short little 15-minute Reiki treatments. We're going to be educating people, handing out materials, and giving Reiki treatments to the vets and vet techs that are there at the conference.
Okay.
And so actually we are having a fundraiser right now to do that. We are asking for, we have, our goal is $3,000. We have $1,400 so far, which is great.
Okay.
And that pays for the booth. And also we are flying out a few of our members to man the booth. And so, we have, of course, getting transportation fees and getting them out there, and also the materials, creating materials and everything. But what's so exciting is that, this is the annual conference, and there are, I don't know how many people come, but I know they have over 2,000 members in their organization.
Wow. And
they're all holistic vets that are open to Reiki. I was there 2 years ago and taught a class, and, the room was full, and the vets and the vet techs were just completely open to this and wanted to know more.
Wow.
So I'm so excited to be back again to do more, and hopefully to have Sarah there as well, because if we can get vets on board with the Reiki thing, it's so much easier to get it out there to the animals when the vets say, Reiki would really help if you could get Reiki with this, or, then it just makes it, that's my dream, is to see it be, just one of the therapies that we offer in the whole pursuit of animal wellness. Just, we add it in to what they need and what they get for different things. So.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm so excited by your vision. This is wonderful.
So, we are really excited. So we have a website, which is shelteranimalreikiassociation.org.
Okay.
And we have lots of information on there. We have a little link. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so anyone who wants to donate to us, it is tax deductible.
Okay.
And we have lots of information on that site. We have little audio clips about Reiki, and we have tons of articles. We have a blog with tons of stories about what we're doing in shelters for the animals, little case stories, and just lots of stuff on that website.
Oh, that is so cool. I love this. I'm getting really excited. So, again, the email address is www.shelteranimalreikiassociation.org. That's a mouthful.
Yes, I know. Sarah.org was taken, so.
Oh, darn it. Shelter Animal Reiki, and Reiki is spelled Reiki, for anyone who needs that, association.org. And this is so cool. And you said the fundraiser goes through October, which is when the conference is for all these wonderful holistic vets that we want to support and teach and offer, like you said, this wonderful therapy that, I know the vets do the very best they can given what they have. And there are a lot of things that they simply can't do, and so this is brilliant for them, so they can add something that can make such a big difference, and also that supports everything else that they do too, because you know how Reiki supports, in any other protocol that they're going to, try, it'll help it to be more effective. And if it's not the right protocol, then it might even take over that too, and just make it all work. So this is wonderful. That's so great. Okay, so everybody go check out shelteranimalreikiassociation.org, and if you feel so inclined, please make a donation, fully tax deductible. That'd be great. And Kathleen, how can people contact you?
Well, I have my very own company where I teach Animal Reiki, and so my website is www.animalreikisource.com.
Okay.
And I offer classes, all kinds of classes, in-person classes at a local sanctuary here in Northern California, and then also do teleclasses, correspondence classes. I have tons of information, articles. I have a newsletter that comes out that's free e-newsletter every quarter. I have a once-a-month Animal Reiki talk the first Tuesday of every month, and it's free, and anyone who wants to know more about Animal Reiki can come. So if you just get on my mailing list and email me, I'm happy to tell you more about, but I have lots of opportunities for people to learn more and to find out more and to learn how to do this. It's very easy to do.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And anyone can do it, like you just showed us. So I hope everybody does that. So, Kathleen, where are you based? You said Northern California?
I'm in Northern California. I'm in Marin County.
Marin County, okay.
In Northern California, yes.
Okay, excellent. So anyone in that area, I hope they manage to come to one of your classes or more of them. And everybody go to animalreikisource.com to find out more. And then do you have an email you'd like to share, Kathleen?
Sure. My email is info, I-N-F-O, at animalreikisource.com.
Great. I hope people contact you about this and learn more. And I know you have the best book on the subject out there, Animal Reiki, Using Energy to Heal the Animals in Your Life, and the Animal Reiki Handbook. Those are awesome, really good books. So,
well, it's such a beautiful complement to the work that you're doing with animal communication. I mean, I think they just work so well together.
Yeah.
So it's nice for people, if they're going to do one, to learn the other.
Yes, absolutely. They need to, and I know that whichever way they come, whether they're learning animal communication, one of the things you have to do in my method of learning animal communication is you have to learn how to connect energetically, right? And then that's exactly what you're teaching on the other side also, which is starting with working with the energy to connect. So it definitely works. And when you're connected, you can talk. You'll learn things. You'll find out things. They can share things with you. And I know that a lot of people who do Reiki with animals, I know you can verify this, you learn things. You connect. You are sharing energy, and you're going to hear things. You'll feel things. You'll better understand, the animal's point of view. You'll have things pop into your mind, that the animal's thinking, you know how they're feeling. Isn't that true?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, from my end on teaching animal communication, that's our goal also. So, and I take it in a different direction, but we're all going to the same place.
Right.
I love it. And it looks like we're out of time for today, and I think we've covered everything. Did we miss anything?
Oh, we covered a lot. I think we did cover everything.
I'm sure we could be here a long time if we wanted to just keep going. We certainly could. But I think for today, let's call an end to it. And again, Kathleen, I want to thank you so much for sharing this with me and our listeners. And I know people to come that are interested in wanting to learn about healing and balance and how to help our animals.
Well, thank you so much for having the opportunity to talk about it, and I just really appreciate making the connection with you and learning more about what you're doing. I mean, like you said, we're all kind of doing the same thing in our own way.
Right, with a similar mission and goal of a healthier, happier, more balanced world.
Right.
With our animals and also ourselves, because I teach that healing and helping our animals helps us to be better people, better humans. So
true.
Let's do it. Our world needs us. All right. Well, thank you again. Thanks everybody that's listened, and I want to talk to you some more, Kathleen.
Great. Well, thanks so much again, Val.
You're welcome. Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, take care.
Thanks for listening to the show. For more information or to listen to other podcasts, go to valhart.com/blog. And if you're someone who values a non-invasive, holistic solution to resolving problems with your dogs, cats, and horses, and you want better behaved, healthier, and happier animals, just go to my website at valhart.com to apply for a complimentary Happy Animal Assessment session. And be sure and remember to look for my CDs on iTunes. Learning how to talk with animals is fun and will change your life. So while you're there at my site, get my free Quick Start Animal Talk course and check out the world's first complete Animal Communication Made Easy system. May the love of animals bless you, teach you, inspire you, heal you, and reconnect you to the circle of life.